Used to. Welcome back to Data Center News Asia. This feels professional, doesn't it?
This is professional. Don't get used to this. We're actually paying for this at the moment, so it's part of another project we have ongoing.
Treating you guys to an upgraded. Oh no, we can promote the project. This is what you'll be getting coming soon on the In Conversation series. This and a musty hotel room in Hawaii.
And we had 11 minutes to use up, so we're using it for the news this week.
Fantastic.
Full disclosure.
All right, let's start with the stories because, yes, we will get kicked out of the studio when we run out of our budget. So the first one this week was the controversy. So this is Google and Australia. So for context, Australia is potentially the beneficiary of some of the overflow capacity from the United States. It seems that the conclusion from events like PTC and GTC and others has been that Australia looks like a very investable location for excess capacity and for APAC capacity. Reasons everyone knows: lots of land, lots of power, good workforce, good technological environment, good regulatory environment, etc. But there have been a few issues. The one was the copyright that was discussed with the models, and then this one now Google has surfaced is potentially a tax disagreement.
Yeah, and we're absolutely no tax experts here, but what it sounds like is if they were to develop a self-built campus, this would all of a sudden the Australian tax authorities would classify this as a permanent establishment, and essentially it would increase their tax exposure not only across the DC business but also across cloud, search, advertising, all the various other different functions and models they have. So it would essentially require them to pay a significantly higher amount of tax, which, being an American tech company, they want to avoid.
Yeah, I mean, how do you comment on this story without going too political?
Maybe we'll just avoid.
I'm kind of lost for words here.
Maybe we'll just avoid it.
Yeah, I'm sure Google pays what they see as a fair share of their tax. I mean, what do they think back in Ireland?
Oh, well, we're masters at tax havens.
So Google said it's not asking for tax incentives or public funds. Data Center Australia also says the same. And there's obviously some disagreement in the Australian Parliament. But yeah, so there is Amazon's committed 20 billion Aussie dollars to DC investment over the next 4 years. CDC has just approved another $3 billion odd dollars. And Google themselves are already committed a couple of $1 billion of spend over the last couple of years. But this is, I guess what they're trying to dangle the carrot here is a slice of their projected $170, $180 billion of projected capex over the next 2 years, which, I'm sure Australia would be keen to get a slice of.
Yeah, obviously there's a lot of spillover benefits of a project of that kind of scale, like construction firms, everyone in any associated to the data center value chain. So let's see where this one goes, because it could have regional implications.
Yeah, I might start a separate data center politics podcast where we just talk about tax rules and get really nerdy and bring out my inner socialist. Anyway, we'll move on to Bridge Data Centers are investing. So I did talk about them on last week's news, but that was in relation to their hydrogen MOU. But this was an announcement that they're planning to spend 3 to 5 million Singaporean dollars, or 2.3 to 4 billion US dollars in Singapore's digital infrastructure. What does that mean when that's all spending in Singapore? Or?
It's not quite clear exactly how this will look. Like, I think there was a couple of interesting developments within this, and we've reported on quite a number of kind of MOUs they've signed with various energy, kind of green energy companies in the last couple of weeks. I think last 2 weeks we've had stories. So I think this is part of it as well. I'm wondering if this includes a bid as part of the CFA 2 process. I'm sure it does. I'm sure Bridge would be keen to have a facility actually in Singapore itself. But I think it's really just them doubling down on the region and showing plans and ambitions to continue to grow.
Yeah, I mean, big dollar figures, but then, Bridge, last time I checked the DC Buy platform, they had something like 160, 170 megawatts of live capacity, but they have over a gigawatt in planned across. And I think most of that expansion is like Malaysia, Thailand, and then, they are aiming to try and build into, I think, Japan and Australia as well as on the
regional ambitions. And if Malaysia's anything to go by, and how quickly they're progressing in Thailand, I think they're in a good position to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's go on to...
This is EdgeConneX.
This is EdgeConneX. I was like, I've lost the title. It's on the previous page. EdgeConneX. Yeah, this is the groundbreaking for their Osaka campus. So we talked about this in a few different contexts. The joint venture establishment. Yeah, this is going to be a pretty big campus. I think it's 200 megawatts on this campus, and it's 350 across the
second one as well. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're both in roughly Osaka, right? They're not Tokyo.
They're in like Greater Osaka. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not in Tokyo, no.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're partnered with Kagoya Asset Management. And yeah, this is the groundbreaking ceremony. So we should have a picture up on screen of the Shinto priest. We always love the Japanese groundbreakings.
Yeah, obviously this is going to be phased. First phase is just going to be 28 megawatts. Ready, expected to be ready in Q1 2028, which is 2 years from now. So that would be a quick timeline for Japan. So yeah, let's see if they can deliver in this time.
It's so interesting with Japan, isn't it? Because it's like 2028 is actually almost imminent capacity in Japan relative to that market, but yet the sales cycle doesn't really change that much. So it's still very difficult to start, getting customers committed to these 28, 29, 30 projects when they're looking at some other markets and they're like, oh, I can get capacity at the end of the year or next year. It's but of course, the pot of gold at the end of Japan is a really big potential market.
Yeah, and Osaka is still growing. There's still quite a lot of activity down there. It's definitely the smaller sibling compared to Tokyo, but still a very attractive market. And there's decent, but we get a lot of inquiries in about it.
We had another groundbreaking story this time in India, and I'm going to guess that this one will be up before 2028 if Mumbai has anything to go by. So this is ST Telemedia, STTGDC India. Speaking, and this is their third campus.
Third facility on the
third facility. Yeah. Third Mumbai facility. They've obviously got like 8 around.
Yeah, this is the Palava city, which is basically between. Anyone familiar with kind of Mumbai, Navi Mumbai? So it's kind of in between Thane and Navi Mumbai, that kind of general area. So it's in the smart city built by the Lodha Group, LODHA.
Oh, this is okay. This is probably the first groundbreaking for one of that development. It's a really interesting project, like a big kind of you gave the location already, but it's a big kind of
Amazon are nearby. This complements. So from the STT point of view, it complements their kind of more downtown Mumbai location. They also have another one in kind of Navi Mumbai itself. I wonder if this is probably the first groundbreaking since the acquisition. Maybe. Well,
yeah, it's the first one we've announced anyway. I don't know what's happened behind the scenes, but yeah, certainly big news. So it says here that they've got 30 facilities in 10 cities across India. They're such a blended portfolio, STT. Because some of these, this is obviously a very big facility, and some of these are going to be smaller legacy. So they've already got a full kind of service offering.
Yeah, everything from enterprise all the way up to hyperscale stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, another company that has a pretty broad offering and a similar kind of blended portfolio around the region is Digital Edge, who have just secured a $665 million green loan. This is for their India CGK campus. So this is the one where we were talking about recently. Indonesia, sorry. Did I say India? Oh, that's my bad. Sorry, this is the Jakarta one. So we reported only a month or so ago, Digital Edge. This is the project that's going to be potentially a $4.5 billion investment, 500 megawatt campus that they are building. So this will be the biggest in their portfolio, and I think the biggest in Indonesia if completed on scale.
Yeah, there's a couple of other kind of half gigawatt announcements. BDX, for example, have announced a project this kind of scale in the past. But yeah, significant project sitting in the GIIC Industrial Park.
Yeah, so the news story here is the green loan. So this is, and we talked about this a number of times on the show, but this is a green financing framework. So there's going to be a target PUE, which they've actually listed here. So this is 1.25, which is pretty aggressive for Indonesia. And that's like a Singapore level PUE, I would think. So good efficiency standards.
Well, it's very difficult in this part of the world to get a PUE that low.
Yeah, sorry, if you are watching from like Norway or somewhere and you're thinking, well, these guys are so inefficient. Like, remember, it's
tropical weather.
Yeah, it's 30 degrees and 80% humidity outside all the time. So it's hard to get that number down with cooling. LEED certification, recycled water, renewable energy. So there's a whole bunch of targets to this to keep the interest, and it's good that they're sticking by their sustainability pledges, Digital Edge.
Yeah, 'cause they had that we announced that story in about India 2 or 3 weeks ago, the 83 megawatt PPA they signed.
Yeah, so they're making some really good strides on sustainability, and I think actually, to be fair, I'm quite pleased with the despite the headlines you're seeing coming out of the US a lot and things, a lot of the Asia operators, we've just talked about Bridge, we talked about AirTrunk last week, really kind of sticking by their guns and doing a lot of very sustainable looking developments.
Yeah.
New development in Korea, Shinsege Group. A sovereign AI factory. So it's 250 megawatts. I should have said reflection AI. That's much easier to read.
Yeah.
So this is an MOU signing. So, let's not get too excited at this stage. But this is another big project being announced in Korea. Do you have any idea where the location of this one is? I couldn't find it on the press release.
No, I don't think anything I found is to be announced. This project has come across our desk previously, so this isn't news to us, but I'm not even sure if they've picked a site.
Yeah, I mean, so reflection AI is, people seem to balk at being described as neoclouds these days, but they are a US AI lab who provides GPUs via their relationship with NVIDIA. So call that what you want. I tend to go with the term neocloud, but there we go.
Yeah, we've had a number of these South Korea kind of sovereign AI factories announced in the last 3 months even, or certainly in the last 6 months. So we've had the Hyundai one we mentioned a couple of weeks ago. So it'll be interesting to see if this, or indeed any of them, actually get developed. Like, I think there is legitimacy, and like the idea is certainly there, but does South Korea need to have all of a sudden hundreds and hundreds of sovereign AI? We'll see.
Well, potentially it's got a lot of the ingredients to become a big regional hub, and
and it is still quite a small market actually in terms of what they actually have live.
Yeah, relative to the huge domestic tech sector as well. So yeah, interesting one to watch, and one to watch, of course, will be our new In Conversation series that we filmed some here. So stay tuned and like and subscribe and stuff.
Yep. Thanks everyone. Thanks for watching.
Cheers.